What's up, y'all? We are back. This is episode 12 of the Washington Nationals Out of the Park Baseball 24 series. You can see we're here, start of September. We're 65 and 68. Real uphill battle here to reach the playoffs. I'm not sure if it's going to even possible. We're 10 games back to start the month. It'll kind of take a miracle. August was incredibly streaky. See this freaking, we had this 7-game losing streak, sorry. And on this 8th day, I don't know if this is what happened, but I put Keibert Ruiz at DH, took him out, put Hedges as my starting catcher, and we rattled off 7 in a row. So I don't know if that was the cause or what, but our pitching was pretty good during this stretch too. Then we wound up losing a couple. Then we've been on this nice little win streak to end August pretty respectfully at 15 and 13. After, June and July were just horrible. So we're 3 games under 500. And this isn't the complete all-in year, but we have had some outstanding seasons from none other than Brady House. 3.2 WAR, 120 WRC+. He's played all over the field, wherever I need him to. First base, third base, left field, right field. He's out in left field right now, doing a fine job out there. And of all the people to be hitting in our lineup, I would not expect it to be him. So, is this sustainable? I'm not sure, but we'll take whatever results we get, as I always say. Marcelo Mayer has not hit for any power, but he's still been solid since we got him. On pace for 4.8 WAR on the year, which is pretty good. Antuna continues to be a pretty good player for us. Luis Garcia has been on a nice little run, playing out in right. Correa has been much better, up to a league average hitter. Finally learned third base fully, so he should have a pretty good zone rating over there moving forward. And Keibert has been pretty good, moving to DH full time. And Austin Hedges on pace for 1.3 WAR with just a 60 WRC+. His framing's been big, so he's obviously in there every day at this point. It's kind of helped our team a lot, I think. I think Grisham's still done a good job in center field. And then our other acquisition, I don't know what this is. Alex Ramirez. He got off to a really nice start, but has faded since. I don't know what his long-term future is with us, but, whatever. Whatever we get is, house money at this point. So Anthony Siegler's actually up as our backup catcher at the moment. Armando Cruz is still chilling here. TJ Friedel is back with the team. I don't even know if I mentioned this. He made my opening day roster, and then when Garcia came back, I sent them down. So he's been back. He's not really playing at all, but he's on the roster. Now with expanded rosters that opened up a couple spots, so we're going to call up Carmen something Zinski, the Polish guy, Carmen. Let's call it Carmen. So we called him up. Antelik's been pretty good out of the bullpen on a nice little run. Wonder what his reliever stats are really good. So I moved him there. I put Davis Martin in the rotation. He's been really good. Paul Skeens is back in the rotation. It's kind of a disaster. Susana was just getting blown up. Or he just wasn't giving us a chance to win. He wasn't doing necessarily bad, but he's back in the bullpen. We called up Robert Colina, the other guy we got in that Atlanta trade. Tried to eat some innings out of the pen. And yeah, we're going to have to try to piece this together. Castillo's he went on a really bad stretch. Go to the game logs. Yeah, this stretch was brutal for him. Blew his ERA from 2.8 to 3.8. And has since stabilized around there. I projected that there would be some aggression. But now he's kind of stabilized the 3.9 pitcher, which is totally cool. Nola really hasn't progressed as I thought he would. He's just had these blow-up games that have just destroyed his ERA on the season. The peripherals still look good, but the results have not been there. Brian Woo's been a really solid 3-starter, and we'll see what Skeens can give us. This is kind of his last shot as a starter. Hopefully he can give us a little juice in the rotation. So I don't know if I'm going to go every game. Maybe I'll go week by week. I'll at least sim this next week off camera, but I just wanted to give an update where we are. Oh, duh. James Wood tore his PCL. Forgot to mention this. Yeah, it's about a month ago. He was having such a great season, and I'm pretty sure this is the day that I put Hedges as a starting catcher because I was just so sad. He was having such a good year. He's gonna miss most of next year. It was August, so it's 8 to 4. No, he might be back for opening day. It's possible, but more likely like a May comeback for him. Completely forgot to mention that. I'm sure you guys saw that when I first opened up, but yeah, it's really tough. Tink Hence also, he shot. Decline that option on him, for sure. But yeah, anyway, one thing to update organizationally is, oh shoot, I gotta call up Lucky. Crap. I want him in high A. Connor Griffin was playing in A-ball, playing really well, and he got a little boost to his contacts. He was up to a 75, so he's looking like a real gem. He'll finish out the year in high A, probably start the year in high A or double A next year. And Arjun Namala, one of our top prospects, he went out for a couple weeks, but when he was up in double A, he played pretty well. I just called him up. I thought his ratings were good enough to stick there. He wasn't really hitting in high A, but he had full season of at-bats there, so yeah, I'm hoping he can come through and become a real player for us next season. Cooper Pratt's a guy I'm thinking about calling up. I'm not sure yet. He's been crushing AAA. If we have an injury down the stretch, he might be the guy. Brender Cox hit really well in AA, so he got a promotion. I don't really have high hopes for him, but he's hit at every level for sure. So, I'll see him next week. We'll come back probably September 8th-ish. So that week was probably the nail in the coffin. Just absolutely atrocious. We lost, what was that, 6 of 7? So if our season wasn't already over, it probably is now. We're 13 games back of the wild card. It's not happening this year, so complete wasted season. I don't even know how this friggin' happened. I thought we put together a really good team. And individual performances were really good. Like Brady House, man, what a heck of a season he had. I don't know if he'll ever repeat that. We wasted that. Tommy White just is the most average first baseman ever. Marcelo Mayer, at least we got him coming back. Correa's probably on the move because our owner's going to drop our budget because we missed the playoffs. Nola was a total bust. I still have hope for him future value-wise, but this season was a total dud. Castillo just has not given us enough. He hasn't been necessarily bad. Woo's been good. I can't be mad at all these guys, but my God. 14th in starters ERA with the rotation we came into the year with is just absurdly bad. The bullpen ERA being 9th is also bad. I don't know. It just didn't happen this year. I'll sim another week. Maybe we can go on a big run or something. I don't know. But we'll be back. All right, so it hasn't been necessarily bad, this little stretch. But I'm just, look at the offense through these games, and then we blow up for 16 runs, and we, like, I don't know. We went to put up 16 runs. Like, we're fourth in runs scored, but it's, like, all or nothing. Like, I was, like, amazed at how few runs we scored this first, like, 2 weeks of the month. Put up 16, and then, like, you know, these aren't bad games necessarily, but we put up another 16, and it just inflates the number, and it makes it look like we're better than we are. We're still plus 29 in run differential, so I think that has to do with playing a lot of close games and blowing people out. I mean, we haven't played necessarily a lot of one-run games. I don't really know what's going on. I don't get it. We just can't put it all together in one game. But the reason I jumped in is because our magic number, I think, is 1 for elimination. Elimination number, I think it's what's called. But yeah, we'll just keep simming until we get eliminated, which will probably be today. And we stay alive, I guess. Oh, Atlanta's right there with us at least. That's good. I'm happy they're in the grave as well. What a freaking season, man. Such a waste. Such a waste. And now, like, this is hilarious because now everyone's starting to pitch well. Nola's been on, like, this awesome stretch. I don't know. Skeens has actually been good, too. The last 2 starts. Davis Martin's come back down to earth. Maybe I may as well throw Susanna in there, honestly. Yeah, I mean, we're dead in the water anyway. We'll throw Intalik out there as well. See what these guys got. So yeah, we got a couple more games until we're eliminated probably, unless we go undefeated and everyone else loses out. This is hilarious. Now we're gonna tank our draft stock. I mean, the lottery's a thing, so it doesn't really matter, but we're still in it. We can still finish over 500, which would be pretty big because that was our owner goal. And there you go. We were eliminated officially. I also kind of screwed up because I didn't get a real second baseman. I thought Antuni could handle it. He was a total butcher over there. I'm not saying that's the reason we sucked, but I probably should have gotten a real second baseman, and that's something we're going to address this offseason for sure. We got to figure out what's gonna happen with this Antunia, Tommy White, Caber Ruiz thing with the first base and DH spot. I think Tommy White might be on his way out. I don't know. He's been a mostly league average hitter besides last season where his BABIP was 350. I just don't think he's good enough to justify it. I think Ruiz also might be on his way out. Antunia's been good, so I can't really push him out the door, but yeah, that's probably going to wrap up this episode. May as well finish the season. We got like 8 games left. We'd see if we could finish 500. We got to go 7 and 7 the rest of the way to go 82 and 80. There you go. A nice little win. Brady House again. Dude is just such a total stud. And Susanna had a good start to, put the bookend of his year together. So Nola, his last start of the season, and we win 4-3. Correa had 3 hits. He kind of finished the season strong, but he's probably still going to be a salary casualty. So 5 games left. Who is this? Tink Henso. Yeah, he came back. I'll just pay that now. Screw it. Who cares? Man, I did not think this team would be so bad. It's just insane. And somehow we're going to wind up finishing above 500. Antunia, a couple more hits. Okay. Castillo, yeah, that finishes off a really, really bad second half for him. July and August and September were just brutal. I wonder if we'll see any scouting differences for him. And Matt Brash, dude. This guy, God. All right, I'm just getting mad for no reason, but this guy was good. Carmen. Good old Carmen. Okay, 4 games left. This is taking longer than I expected. But since there's no playoffs, I'll probably do the offseason in this episode too. This is unbelievable. We're actually going to finish 500, aren't we? Skeens' stamina went up. That's cool. Too bad he can't pitch. Intalik had a good start his last time. Potential movement goes up to 70. Nice. Elijah Green, he's someone I'm interested. Contact went up. His power dropped. He doesn't really look like anything anymore. Okay, so there you go. Cole Henry also a little increase. He's a total stud. Love him. I could try him out as a starter again, but I don't know. He's too good of a reliever. Intalik, his last start of the year, we lose 7-9, so we will finish 500 at best. So Skeens and Susanna to close the year. And we win 2-1. I am intrigued by these games because I want to see Skeens finish strong, and he really did. As a starter, he wasn't bad. As a reliever, he was actually worse, which is funny. But I don't know. Maybe he turned a corner the second half of the year. Maybe the demotion actually helped him out, and he can come back next year. I'm not going to lock him into a rotation spot or anything, but he at least probably is going to be back on the team next year. And Susanna to close it out, try to go 500. And we lose, so that's a fitting end, a 9-10 loss in 11 innings. Yeah, a bunch of hits in here. Brady House finishes 3.7 WAR. Correa finished strong, 4 WAR on the year. Yeah, but it just did not come together. Cano had been so good all year too. That sucks. And Matt Brash blew another save. So, yeah, that'll wrap up this part. I'll go into the offseason this episode and, yeah, get this over with. So we'll be back. All right, we're here started the offseason. As expected, we have no money to spend. So we're going to have to unload some deals. We could drop our budgets as well, but I think it makes sense to look at dealing Correa. Now that we have, what's his name? God. Holy crap. I'm an idiot. God, Marcelo Mayer. Now that we have Marcelo Mayer on the team, Correa is just not as valuable for us, so I'm going to look at what we can get. So we can dump the deal entirely, which, is probably likely. This guy's not bad. I don't like his personality, but has some upside. So it looks like the Phillies are probably the team to do this with. I don't want to get rid of Correa, but it just probably is likely that we're going to have to. So, yeah, I mean, Guerrero is the best player here. He doesn't have, he's not a bad personality to have in the locker room, so I'm fine with it. And they want to win now, so I get it. They need a shortstop, and we have 2 of them, so. And I'd rather have Mayer, I think, so. So yeah, this sucks. I don't really want to get rid of him because he is, he's a valuable guy. But now that we're kind of strapped for money after we didn't make the playoffs, yeah, we have to make some moves. So we'll keep Mayer. We'll deal Correa. We're just gonna have to dump his salary, which I don't love doing, but that's okay. See if we can get some throw in. Major League ready talent. That's probably not worth throwing anyone in. All right, we'll just do this. We'll flip Correa for Guerrero. He gave us 2 pretty good seasons, though. Gave us 8.5 WAR, which definitely good. And he's on his way to the Hall of Fame, but unfortunately, probably won't be in a Nationals uniform. So, as a first deal of the offseason, kind of saw that one coming. And we'll have to. That puts us in a better position. At least we're back to even, and we can adjust our salaries accordingly. So a lot of guys do for arbitration. I'll tell you right now, Friedel will get non-tendered. Davis Martin's an interesting one. We'll have to come back on that. Tanner Houck for 3.2. He was fine last year. Cole Henry will be back. Matt Brash at 5.5. I think I'm going to decline that. He's a good reliever, but we have relievers that we can get cheaper than $5.5 million. Skeens will be back for 3.8. That's not horrible. Luis Garcia. God, we still okay. We gotta figure out this money thing first. Okay. Alex Ramirez at 4.4. I'll probably non-tender him, honestly. He was okay with us, but his ratings are starting to drop, it seems. Last scouting report, yeah, his contract dropped. And I don't really want to pay a guy $4.4 million to be... Or maybe we could look to deal him. He probably has some value. See what we got. I'll probably only go through the first half of the offseason in this episode, and then we'll go through second half, which isn't really that much, but we'll go through like opening day and all that stuff in the next episode. Just to keep them like shorter and not spoil that we missed the playoffs and stuff like that. This guy's interesting. He's got some tools. He's got a couple good pitches, but no velocity. I mean, are we better off just keeping Ramirez then? If this is what we're getting offered. I mean, we're not totally out of money. We have some moves we can make. I don't want to do them right now, but... Did I not do this trade? What the hell? Okay, hold on. I gotta figure this out. I'll be back. Okay, so I guess when I went to go look at the trade, they didn't actually accept it, so that's why he was still on the team. Oh, yeah, okay. We could throw in some of these guys. Let's throw in Tavares. He's I'm intrigued by the high work ethic, and he's kind of good in A-ball, but yeah, these are pretty much nothing guys. We'll throw in Ortega. That's fine. Nelson Ortega. Sure, that works. Okay, so now we have some money. Yeah, I had a feeling our fans wouldn't like that. And we are going to have to figure out the fan interest thing because I'm pretty sure we lost a lot of money with that last year. So we'll drop our scouting down to 18. Drop our dev down to 35. At least that gives us a little bit of flexibility. So now we're like back to 0 because this is draft and international guys. So yeah, we basically have to figure out how to build a winner this offseason with the 25th best budget. I got a 1-year extension on my contract, so a firing could be impending here, depending on how we finish this season. So this is pretty important. And I don't know what I'd do if I got fired. I'd probably see what other offers I have out there and play the free agency game. We'll offer Antunia. Okay, I'll actually do this off camera. Oh man, I hope Wood isn't shot after this, man. He's like towed this line between good player and great player, which is like this. I know it's only 5 home run, 5 but he's towed that line for a few years, and I hope he doesn't just fall off a cliff. But yeah, I'm gonna do these off camera, and we'll come back in a bit. All right, so there's a couple moves that I want to make this off season, but I'm gonna start with this one. These are 2 guys that I was probably gonna non-tender. Alex Ramirez. I like him in theory, but he was not really good for us. Hasn't really been a good player ever, and he's making $4.4 million. We want to cut down some of the salary and some of this dead weight kind of on our roster. So, he could be a nice backup outfielder for sure, but at this point, he's just not in my plans. I don't know. It's tough because looking at our team right now, we don't really have any outfielders for next season, which is a problem I actually kind of like. I would like to try to fill some of these holes internally. I mean, we don't have a ton. Elijah Green's probably not going to work out in the majors, but could be a backup guy. But this is like a spot for Connor Griffin potentially in the future. Or I don't know if, Lucky could play a little corner outfield if we stick with Antunia long-term at third, or Brady House long-term at third. So, Ramirez honestly isn't even a bad guy to have on the team, but I'm not going to talk myself out of it, and I kind of want to keep him. So, all right, let's put that on pause for a minute, but the next move, I do want to move Matt Brash because I'm going to non-tender him anyway, I think. What was his ARB estimate? It was, 5.5. That's just way too much at this point in our rebuild. But Paul Skeens is a guy I didn't really want to trade because I wanted to see what he had left in the tank as a starter. And I want to see what he can do if we had a good defensive catcher. So, Keibert Ruiz is on this incredibly team-friendly contract, and he's probably worth this, absolutely. But for our team right now, I'm not sure he's what we need. I don't know. He's a really good hitter, usually, but like our DH, first base, those spots are kind of filled up, and I don't really want him catching. I want to maximize our defense at catcher and see if we can boost this pitching staff, which really is underperformed every season. Maybe Tommy White gets moved instead, but we need to figure out between Ruiz, Antunia, and White who's going to fill those first base and DH spots, because I don't see Keibert Ruiz being the catcher next season. We'll probably go and try to pick someone up. Grant Hussey's also a guy I kind of want to move. We gave him a pretty good sample size last year and just could not hit. Struck out way too much. I still like his overall game, but he's 24 now. I just don't really see it. He crushed AAA, so maybe I give him another shot. He's got a couple option years, so it's not killing us keeping him on the roster, and he doesn't really have that much value, so maybe he does stay. Just kind of trying to talk myself through this and what we're going to do, because I don't know. As you can see, we have like 2 spots that are guaranteed. It's Mayer and Wood, and the rest of this offense is kind of going to have to be built from the ground up again. So long term, I think Cooper Pratt will probably be in the running for a second base spot next season. We don't really have a guy at the moment. He'll of course compete with Namala, but bad news on him. I think I mentioned this. They got hurt. Injured list. Oh my god. Let me see how I can hunt him down. Let's go to the top prospects. Yeah, so he blew out his MCL, which is super unfortunate because I kind of saw him making an impact on the team next season. He was starting to hit in Double-A, but he'll be out for most of the season, or at least half the year, with that injury. So that really knocks down the second base spot. Do I trust a rookie in Cooper Pratt to fill that spot? I'm not sure. I certainly don't trust Stanley Tucker. He might still be a nice utility guy to have, but he's not like a locked-in spot there. Kind of looking through the rest of the prospect. I like Alex Sosa, but again, I don't know where he's going to play. His catcher ability isn't really high enough. He could be a nice utility guy, but doesn't really play anywhere else. I guess we just got to wait for Raheem Lucky and Connor Griffin. They should be ready next season, maybe. I think Lucky more so. He's got the high floor. But yeah, that's kind of where we are with those guys. I don't know. It's tough right now because we don't have a ton of money, but I don't really know where that money is caught up in. I guess it's Nola and Castillo. Garcia's off the books, which is tough because he's been one of our more reliable bats throughout this save. He was just hurt last season. And maybe it's not smart to trade Ruiz because he has been a good hitter and he was a good hitter last year. He's not a catcher for me. So maybe it's Tommy White that gets moved. I didn't really check his value, and I kind of forgot that he was on this team. Former first overall pick, but just did not really produce enough last year to justify a spot on this team. A 101 WRC plus is good for like a second baseman or a shortstop with a glove, but if I can get a haul back for him, he's a guy who I would definitely move. Okay, so actually, instead of doing it this way, I have a couple guys that are on my trade targets list at the moment. I've taken a lot of time and kind of gone through and sifted through which guys would be targets. This guy's interesting. So let's jump into that really quick after I just quickly go through this list. So let's see. I always forget how to go to this. So it's reports. No, it's short lists. Okay, so trade targets. There's only a couple guys on here. But Jackson Jobe is a guy I liked. A cheap, controllable arm. We've got him for 2 more seasons, 3 more seasons maybe. He's been a league average pitcher, but I think he could play up with a good defensive catcher. This guy was a guy the Twins are looking to trade, Christian Knapczyk. A captain, high work ethic, can definitely play second base, and has a prototypical leadoff hitter profile. He reminds me a lot of the dude, our first baseman for the Nashville save, but except he could actually play the field. So he's a guy I'm looking at. Aaron Ashby's a guy the Cardinals are looking to move. He's on a big contract, so that complicates things. But he's been a total stud for them. And then Jacob Gonzalez for the Royals. The Royals actually have a couple dudes that I like. Another guy was Jacob Melton, who doesn't look that impressive, but he's put together a couple of really good seasons for them. Though my concern is his really high BABIPs every year. I'm not sure what that's related to. That could just be luck. And they do want a good amount for him. This was like a trade for like Skeens and maybe Hussey. Or maybe it was Skeens and Ruiz. I forgot what this was. Maybe it was Hussey. Okay, we're going to have to wait until free agency. I don't know why we have no budget space. It says -17. We have 13 here. So maybe we'll just have to wait until free agency to start doing all this stuff. But yeah, our lineup is kind of in shambles. I'm going to tentatively take out Tommy White and put Keibert Ruiz out here. But yeah, these are the really only spots locked in. I like having flexibility like this. But also, like, could we bring back Trent Grisham? He's going to be a little expensive. Maybe Alex Ramirez does get a contract. I guess TJ Friedel's around. Actually, no, I'm non-tendering him. Never mind. He actually hit pretty well when he was up. For whatever that counts in 31 plate appearances. I don't know. This is tough because we have a lot of first base, third base, DH types, and no second baseman and no center fielder. So let me go to free agency and get some cash flowing and see what we can swing. I think the guys we're looking to deal right now are Skeens, Tommy White, maybe Hussey. And try to, I don't even know what we need. Like, do we need a fifth starter? Is Susana the answer? I'm not sure. Davis Martin's a guy who's going to make $6 million. I'm still undecided on him. I think I'll bring him back. But I don't know. I don't even know if he cracks this rotation. So it's a little nerve-wracking to have a guy making $6 million out of the bullpen who's not a lockdown reliever. I think the rest of this bullpen looks okay. Tanner Houck will be back. I think he could also start. And I honestly might give him a go. My only concern is he does drop. For some reason, he drops to a 35. I do not see a 35 pitcher there. But that always happens with him. So Houck might get a shot in the rotation. Velasquez is a guy who's up for a little bit of a raise, 2.2. I don't know if we can do better than him. We might be able to. And I honestly might non-tender him just to keep chipping away at that money that we're paying these guys. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to non-tender him. Alex Ramirez, I'm going to offer a contract, 4.2. We'll bring him back. So at least we have an outfielder, especially because James Wood's going to be out for a little bit of the season. He could be back for opening day. So we'll offer Skeens 3.8. Let's go 3.7. See if we can save a bit of money. Davis Martin, this is tough. See what we can get for him. Yeah, he doesn't really have a lot of value. It could be a guy that get like a backup catcher. Jake Rogers is a decent defender, but he's also due to make $2.2 million. Jake Goloff is an interesting utility guy. Hit pretty well last season for Minnesota when he was up. This guy's an interesting arm, but I don't know if he's really worth it. David Leal was another guy that I was looking at. High work ethic, high intelligence. He's 30 years old. He's due 2.6 in arbitration. He's coming off a really nice season, though. So that might make sense for Davis. Save a little bit of money, but still have a good player. Jordan Walker, completely fallen off a cliff. Yeah, he was a good player first couple of years, but TCR definitely did not do him any favors. So yeah, I think that actually makes a lot of sense to trade for David Leal here. Even if he is making some money, I don't know if Davis Martin's actually a good pitcher, and I don't think he's going to crack this rotation because we have Houck here. We have some other guys like Colina, who I also think could start, and he's a comparable pitcher, just making the minimum. So I'm going to do this, actually. David Leal can fill out our bullpen, can even start a little bit, maybe, and it's a good arm to have for a little bit cheaper. Fans don't like that. Okay, I didn't know. He was a really popular player, so... Two, 4. Is he going to hardball us here? Oh, my God. 2-5. All right, 2-5. That's fine. Okay, so we'll move forward with this. No qualifying offers to offer for those guys, and we'll sift through the minor leaguers off camera, but I think I'll probably cut the video when free agency starts, just so this one isn't too long. So yeah, we'll come back, and kind of come up with a plan for next episode. Man, I don't even know what time I started recording this episode, but this is taking forever. So I think I've learned my lesson with these 3-pitch guys. I think Skeens just has to. I don't think he's gonna work out. So he's going to be traded. I'm just kind of deciding on a package right now. So there's a lot to go through here, but a couple of guys that I've considered. Jordan Lawler, Just a year removed from a 7.2 WAR season. He was driven by a 389 BABIP, but if he lands somewhere near his career average of 320 even, last year was a down year, but still had a productive season. I think he makes a lot of sense as a cheap guy. Is 2 more years after this season, so 3 years of total control. Just a little expensive. That's the only thing. Let's see. Another package that I liked was from the Orioles. I would be able to pick up Colton Cowser, who, doesn't look terribly impressive on the surface, but man, he's mashed the last few years. And also Andrew Abbott, who's a really nice, either bullpen arm or a back of the rotation guy, kind of like Skeens. Honestly, they're pretty comparable pitchers, but at least he's shown production the last few years. Anyway, my only concern with this one is Colton Cowser is a lefty. And if you look at our lineup right now, if we try to stagger righties and lefties, he would wind up batting somewhere like 6th in our order, which isn't necessarily bad, but we don't have any right-handed hitters at the moment besides Brady House, and we kind of know we don't know what to expect with him. I guess Tommy White's here, but he can't really play anywhere, so maybe Brady House moves to the outfield permanently. I'm not sure. He's very valuable at third. He's a good third baseman. And, if we slide Antonio over, he's not really good. And I don't know. I'd rather get some good defenders at every position. So that was another option, that Baltimore trade. I like that. That might be top of my list. The Lawler one just came along, so that's a brand new trade in my mind. I also like Matt Shaw. He's not a great defender at second, but he does hit. He steals a bunch of bases. He's only 2 years in, so he's got 4 years of control. He also makes a lot of sense. Maybe we could even package him, get Andrew Vaughn as well, but he's a little pricey and under contract for 2 more years. None of these guys were too interesting. Daniel Espino is an interesting arm, but he has the low control, low stamina. You can see he only threw 138 innings last year. He's probably not a starter for me. So that trade doesn't really make a lot of sense. And honestly, I kind of scoffed at the Christian Arroyo thing when the Rockies made this contract, but he's kind of raked throughout this deal, averaging about 3.5 WAR a season, 3.5. So he's a guy to consider. Also Ezekiel Tovar, but he has a big contract. I could opt out after this season, but he's been a complete stud for them. Gabriel Martinez is another guy, but he doesn't really have the range to play a corner outfield spot. Jackson Jobe, guy we talked about, he's also an option. He has 4 pitches, so I feel a little bit better about him. Jake Eater is interesting, but kind of the same deal with Skeens, high volatility. Honestly, I kind of considered this trade. Steven Cruz is like the best reliever in baseball. And he's just a little expensive. He's making 7.2, projected to make 12 next year. But we could probably try to get him and Brennan Davis, who's a right-handed hitter and corner outfielder. He's not the flashiest player. He's like a league average, a little bit above league average hitter through his career, but could fill that hole in right field. And then probably my favorite of the trades is picking up Bo Bichette. So it would be 1-for-1. They would eat 35% of the deal. Yeah, 35% is what I settled on. The only thing is he's making a little bit of money, and we have some second base prospects coming. But, I mean, you look at his numbers the last few years, like, he's done nothing but hit in this save. 120 to 130 WRC plus every year, averaging about 4 WAR a year. Like, total stud. And makes a lot of sense for a right-handed hitting second baseman. So he's a guy I really like. And then none of this was too interesting. O'Neal Cruz is a good player, but we don't really need a third baseman. Probably could play a corner outfield spot, but he's a lefty, so it doesn't make a ton of sense. And then I don't know if there was any other ones. Braden Taylor's an interesting guy, but he's 25 and hasn't developed. Probably won't anytime soon. Frank Cavazos is pretty much the ideal guy to slide into the middle of our order. He makes $25 million on the last year of his deal, and had a breakout season last year after a kind of disappointing year for the amount they paid him. I'm just concerned about his range and his overall like strikeout rates. I think we have a couple guys that strike out a lot on our team already, but I do like that trade. Jose Ramos is a new one. He just came up. It's actually pretty good. Gavin Hollowell, trying to get rid of him again. I might see now. It would make more sense for them to trade him in the offseason, not so much in the regular season. Yeah, they still want quite a bit for him. And honestly, I dabbled with the Fernando Tatis thing. They would eat. I can get them to eat like 15 or 20% of the deal. He has 6 years left. Sorry, 7 years left. God, but he's wrecked. Coming off a career year, relative to the save, I guess. Although 2024 was really good too. But yeah, he crushed last year. Won a Silver Slugger. So that was something I dabbled with. I like George Kirby a lot. He's an ideal like 2 or 3 starter, but he's a free agent after the year, so it's only a rental. Jared Kelenick's a guy they're looking to get rid of. He has 2 years of control, potentially 1. Coleman Crowe has been a good arm for the Giants, but kind of a low upside arm. I don't know if it's much of an upgrade. Aaron Ashby has the big contract. I do like him besides that. Curtis Mead, interesting player, but can't play the corner outfield spots. Kind of stuck at first base and kind of on a decent contract. Junior Caminario, kind of same story, although he can play second base. Coming off a really good year, so I don't know. I kind of glossed over him earlier, but he is definitely an option, but I don't know if he's better than like the guys we have coming up. Chase Davis, another guy, former first-round pick, but he's a lefty. He's coming off a good year, though. I don't know. I kind of like these Rays guys. Shane McClanahan, kind of shot. Mitch Bratt, I mean, he's not bad. But yeah, those are kind of the trades. I'm going to stop the episode here after we go through awards, but also Brant Herter is interesting, but kind of the same deal as Skeens. But yeah, we'll go through awards really quick. There's not much to update. I don't even know it's worth going through them. We can go through MVP because that was a fun one. This was back here. Yeah, so Ellie De La Cruz, I think he won his second MVP. Yeah, second in 3 years. Just a total monster. And our highest guy was none other than Brady House. Way down the ballot, but yeah, he had an awesome season. Hopefully he can keep it going, but I don't exactly have hope for that long term. Cy Young, we didn't even have anyone come close, which sucks because we gave a couple guys some big money, or at least we brought in some big names this offseason. They finished with like identical numbers. I don't know. I still have hope for this rotation, but we got to bring in a good defensive catcher. Free agents have filed. I've simmed a couple days just because I wanted to get a bunch of trades kind of in the works. For guys, for free agents, we have a little bit of money. Not much for next year, but we can go a little bit. We can go a little bit spend heavy this year, and maximize our money that we have for this season. So for center field, that's a big hole. Manny Margot's out here. Only wants 3.6. Coming off a meniscus tear, but that's fine. He'll be back. Just cannot hit for the life of him. But a good defensive center fielder. So that's kind of who I'm looking at for center. For other outfielders, Acuna's the big name out here, obviously. I didn't even see this guy, Logan Glass, but he's 26, almost 27. There's not a ton for corner outfield, like big bats or anything. So that might have to come via trade, and that's why I'm kind of considering the Cowser thing, pretty much any outfielder that can hit. And I think pitching we're kind of good. We could use some big name or big arms out of the bullpen. But yeah, I'm gonna cut this episode here. I'm sure this section is gonna be so freaking long because I've just gone in circles and I've been recording this for like 3 hours and I've just burned out. So I'm gonna hold off doing anything until I drop that episode. I'll try to rush it out and we'll get going if anyone has any thoughts, or maybe I'll think about it the next few days. And yeah, that'll wrap up this episode. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.